Yeah, hi everybody. Short introduction, my name is Eric. I work for or with Icinga since 10 years, and at the moment I'm responsible for the technological strategy and stack of our whole ecosystem. Before we dive into the upcoming projects, I'd like to give you a heads up about the latest developments we've had during the last year. And we had a release, I think it's 3 or 4 months ago, the certificate monitoring module. Has anybody not heard of it? Who does not know the certificate monitoring module? Okay, 5 to 10, that's good. So what it is a daemon where you configure scan jobs to scan your networks for TLS services. You configure IP and port ranges there, and the daemon just collects all certificates, including the whole certificate chain it finds along the way, and saves it into a database. The certificates are verified using a own trust store you import into the module, and you have a front end where you can get detailed views about the whole certificate infrastructure you have in your environment. And it looks like this. This is the certificate or service usage overview. So you see the host name, IP, and port combination, and whether your certificate chain is valid. And if it's not valid, you'll get the reason right in there. And in the next release, we will have a check command so that you can use this information as a service in Icinga. And of course, you can deep dive into all certificate information the module collects. And then, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, we had a release of our business process module. I hope everybody knows the business process module. It's you create top-level views of your applications or services, and you create context by combining hosts and services with logical operators. So what we've added there was, first thing is drag and drop. So previously, every process was just ordered alphabetically, and now you have the chance to edit the order right in the front end via drag and drop. It's possible to import processes from other files, so you have no hassle duplicating process information. You may directly import from other files, and we changed the look and feel a little bit to make it more smooth. Yeah, drag and drop is as easy as this. You grab a node, it works in a tree view and a tile view, and the order is updated, and then it's no longer ordered alphabetically, but ordered like you made it. The process import is as easy as you just choose that you want to import another in a 16 process, and then you have the chance to select the file from where you want to import the process, and then it's done. And I don't know if you remember the old tree view with all those colors. If you hover it, you may get a little bit, eye crazy. This one is a little bit lean. So, that's with the latest developments. What's next? We'll start with our upcoming Icinga version 2.11. There's no release date yet, and I picked 3 major features out of the roadmap. The first one is that we'll introduce high availability features. At the moment, if I'm not mistaken, we only have HA for the IDO feature, and with 2.11, high availability will be available for all other features as well. So that means if you enable Graphite in your cluster on node A and B, then only one side will write to your Graphite instead of both, and that's the same for all other features. Then, since we introduced Icinga 2 and the cluster config sync, we have some little problems. And with version 2.11, we tackle some problems with the config sync by introducing a staging feature. Before copying the config into production, we create a staging directory, validate the config in that staging area, and if there's an error or something like that, then the config will not be copied into production, so you can fix your errors, instead of having a config which is not working lying around on clients. And the biggest thing is that we will introduce Boost ASIO and Boost Beast and coroutines for our network stack to tackle some problems we have in version 2.10, but I'll explain that in a moment. So this is just a proof for the high availability. I think you all know those status from features. There you just see that on one node the feature is paused, and on the other node the feature is active. So for the config sync part, these are the major points we'll fix with the staging environment. We have race conditions when parents try to synchronize empty files to clients. You may get into an incomplete state on clients if you forget to synchronize global templates. Then the config will be rolled out. Icinga may think or thinks that a config is valid, but in the end it's not because your global templates are missing. That's fixed with the staging area. And we have problems when zones are renamed or files are deleted, then they are still on the satellites or agents, and that's what we fix with the staging stuff as well. So since version 2.10, we have 2 thread pool implementations, 1 thread pool for our API connections and 1 thread pool for all the other stuff, features, log writers, check commands, and so on. This caused a little bit of trouble because they may overlap, have context switches. It's just working not so good because the second thread pool may rate limit your API connections. So it seems that your Icinga is, well, it doesn't seem like your Icinga is busy with doing stuff and you can't get your API connections done. And we have, our thread pool and our HTTP protocol handling is all code rewritten on our own, so we didn't use any library for that. And that's why we, now throw all that shit out and replace this with cool Boost libraries. We have to package Boost on our own then because the distributions don't package Boost in a new enough version. So we use Boost Beast for replacing our HTTP protocol. We use Boost ASIO for our asynchronous network I/O. That means for everything, for every API connections, incoming, outgoing, JSON, RPC, cluster messages, and so on. And use Boost threads, mutex, and all those thread-related stuff from Boost itself. And that is really good for us because it's tested by many others, right? Because there are many people using Boost, and we were the only ones using our own thread pool implementations. And when we fixed bugs on the one side, then it failed on the other side. And we hope that it gets better with Boost. It looks pretty good. We have packages ready for this. So if anybody here has problems with version 2.10 and stale API connections, then you're welcomed to test those shiny new stuff as early adopted. It would be really helpful for us. So who has problems with version 2.10 and APIs connections? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll give you 2 packages right now. So for Icinga Web 2, there's not much features planned, I'd say, but we will redesign a lot of parts in our web application. I hope you're all tired of our ugly forms, and that's the first thing we do. It will look like this, a little bit better. For our new monitoring module, we took the chance to rethink every, I'd say, UI widget we have, and you've already seen some parts in Jean's talk. And do I have a presenter with a bird? Geht es? No? Okay, whatever. So in the detail area, you see that we are experimenting with using flyovers for showing forms. At the moment, every action you do in Icinga web is it opens in the detail area, and when you acknowledge, add a command, schedule downtime or whatever, then the form is displayed in the detail area. And yeah, half the page is just white, and it looks not so good, and you may lose context because it just opens in the next column. And first idea is to have a flyover with the form right there where you want to take the action. Like in this example, when you acknowledge a host, it may open a flyover, or it may open a modal dialog so that you just focus on acknowledging instead of that it's opened in the detail area. We're not sure what's the best way, but I think we'll add flyovers, modals, wherever it makes sense. The redesign also is done for our state-related widgets or information, like we replaced our squares with state balls, we call it. Looks a little bit nicer. And you've already seen the detail area in Jean's talk. We thought it's a really good idea to just not only show the plugin output, but to show the most recent events from the history of that particular host or service, because we have this information and it makes just sense to use this and display it. I hope you see the green bar for the downtimes. That shows the left time of a downtime which is active, for example. So we try to, make it a little bit nicer and cooler, everything. And also we try to have integrated graphs. And this is just example for the average check execution time and latency for that host. For us it looks really good. It's not finished at all, but we'll work on. We begin with working on the monitoring module. We redesigned a little bit the business process module, and more modules, will be covered with our redesign efforts. Last year, I already talked about incidents and alerting. So all know alerting in Icinga. We have contacts, context groups, notifications, all configured in text files. And we thought that it's a good idea to replace this with a tool where you configure everything in a nicely and well-organized GUI. There's nothing to show. So it's last year I said we do it last year. This year I say we do it this year. So let's see how it works out. The idea is that it's a central component which manages incidents, events, and notifications. It also will have on-call scheduling support. That means that you have calendars or schedules where you put your colleagues or yourself in and say, okay, I'm on call on this day. And if you use this one as a notification target, then the notification manager will just select from the schedule who's on call and who has to be notified. And it will also have automated escalations, so you define an escalation plan inside the notification manager, and then when somebody does not react in time to an incident, then it gets automatically escalated to other people. So there's one more thing, and I switch to the web interface. Just a second. Okay, I can't mirror my screen, whatever. Let's do it this way. Okay, so let's see how this works. Okay, so I talked about reporting last year, and I'd like to show you some stuff of the upcoming reporting module. We begin with, we go to the reports overview, and we don't have a report right now. And we'll just create a new report. And let's say it's Icinga hosts, whatever, you get what I mean, right? Icinga hosts. We say we want to report for 1 year. And I want to see host SLA. This is the filter editor which you get in every other view. So you can filter for host groups, custom variables, service names, host names, whatever. And then I just create the report like this, okay. And then I created my report, and I get my live preview directly when I open the report. So this is, we go over the history of state changes, downtimes in the database, and calculate the average availability of the result set of the filter, and just display it. And we also have the possibility, of course, to export it to PDF in the open source version. Sorry, just kidding. Sorry. Or not. All right, yeah. So, yeah. Reports can be exported to PDF, CSV, and JSON. So if you want to manipulate it afterwards, you can use JSON or CSV. And this is just the first version, right? So next version will have, or one of the next versions will have the possibility to change the look so that you can add your custom logo, change fonts, sizes, whatever, so that it looks, like your company theme. And it's also possible to, wait, I show you one more thing. You have also the chance to break down. Is this month? Okay, thanks. So we break down the report by month. And just click again. And yeah, instead of a aggregated yearly SLA average, we get the average, the SLA average by month, or breakdown by month, with cumulated averages again on all months. And there's also, somewhere at the bottom, there's also the total availability of all objects of this filter. And then I hope we get the mouse back. Does somebody see my mouse?
I have it.
Okay, you can also send a report directly here via mail to somebody else, also in PDF, CSV, or JSON. And there's a daemon running, because it makes no sense, right, to wake up every day, create a report, and then send it. So you may define a schedule for a report. Let's say we start today. And we want to have this one daily. Send a mail. It's type PDF, and then, we send it to somebody. Save it. And then the schedule is saved. The daemon collects this information every, I think every minute from the database, and then it, updates its own schedule where and which reports it has to send, and then just sends it out to the clients. So I think that we'll publish this stuff latest till the end of this month. The first version just has host SLA and service SLA with all the things you just saw. And it's not possible to add more reports it's not possible to have more report types in one report. So you have to, if you want to have host SLA and service SLA, you have to create different reports. In one of the next versions, it's also possible to combine host SLA, service SLA, and other report types into a single report, so that you don't have to define many reports for that stuff. And just to show you that it works, I modify this one to be a service SLA report. Breakdown none type. Is this service SLA? Yeah, that sounds good. Date. Go for it. Yeah, services take a bit longer because they are more services than host naturally, but it's still quite good. Yeah, view's the same. Now we have our service SLA report, also exportable and stuff like that. I hope you like that, because yeah, it's a big missing feature since years, and finally we got to the point where we get our first version out. All right. I marched through it pretty quick, but hey. I remind you of the happy hour tonight. Also, we have a Icinga Conf in Amsterdam. Subscribe now, right? And you save 20%. Yeah, and we're going to Murphy's in half an hour, an hour? No? No, yeah. Better sooner than later, right? Okay, any questions?
Regarding the incident alerting,
yeah.
That module, would that actually be taking override for the notification module that is within Director? Currently, you can define notification logic within Director.
Yeah.
And if that comes to the core
yeah.
that's going to be creating overlap.
It will. Since Director is just creating the Icinga configuration, and the notification manager module should be, when it's done, the only way to do notifications, so it will be replaced. Yeah.
Where's the Icinga mobile app you promised us last year?
Yes. Yeah.
It's on your phone.
Well, it's not forgotten, but yeah, it's paused, I would say. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So priorities change from time to time.
Yeah.
I believe it's natural. Do we have any more questions? Yes, sure.
Yeah. Will we have a date time picker with the new form layout and design, or have we to stay with the existing one, which only works in Chrome, I think?
Yeah, I think I'll add this one to Icinga Web. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Where? Oh. Any more questions? All right then. I would say thank you very much, Eric.
Thanks.